Hey there, Stampers. Happy Friday. Welcome to my weekly Friday Facebook Live. My name is Sherry Roth. I'm a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator from Canada. And every Friday at 11 a.m. Mountain Time, I go live with a crafting project. And today I've got a simple pocket card to share with you featuring the Ice Cream Corner Suite and the Sweet Ice Cream Bundle. These products are available in the January to June mini catalog, which is current until the end of June. And I'm happy to say that this bundle is actually carrying over into the next annual catalog as well. So before we get started, I wanted to let the winners know it wasn't last week, it was 2 weeks ago that I went live. And I created 3 projects using scraps. And the third project seems to have gone missing, but I've got 2 of the cards here, and Elaine Rose and Denise Valet are the winners. So I will pop those in the mail for you this weekend. So congratulations. Good morning, Michelle. So if you want to know how you can get entered to win today's project, all you need to do is basically participate in the conversation. So whether it's live or on the replay, comment on what you see, share the video. You get 5 entries for sharing the video. I love to share what crafting with everybody. So I appreciate all the comments. I appreciate you guys who are here with me live so that I don't feel like I'm talking to myself. So good morning, Alice and Carol and Elaine and Kim. Welcome, happy Friday. All right, so we are gonna jump right in today. And we are gonna start with a piece of patterned paper. So this measures 6 inches by 12 inches. Now, if you're creating along with me, or if you're creating after this, if you have directional paper, you want to cut it so that your paper is 6 inches down and 12 inches across. Okay, that's really important if your paper is directional. And I went and posted all the measurements in my membership group this morning so that they could craft right alongside me if they wanted to, because we are working with this suite all month long this month. All right. Okay, so I've got my paper trimmer here, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to score it in a couple places to begin with. So I've got the long edge at the top. I'm going to score it at 4 inches. And then I'm going to move it over to 8 inches. And then I'm going to rotate it a 1/4 of a turn so that the bottom edge is on the right. And I'm going to score it at 1/2 an inch all the way down. Okay. Now, I find because this paper is a little on the busy side, actually, you know what? It's not too bad. This side is really busy and it's really hard to see the score lines, but this side, it's actually not too bad. So I've got a score line here and I've got a score line at the bottom. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to line up, let's close this and move this over here. So I'm going to line this score line up with the groove where the blade cuts, and this bottom score line up where the groove is. Let me slide this up, make sure you guys can see. Okay. And I'm going to cut diagonally. And the other thing that you want that I should have mentioned is this is the pattern that I want out. So it's the outside pattern, okay? All right, and then I'm going to repeat that on this side. So again, I've got my score line here and my score line here, and then I'm going to cut diagonally. Okay, these 2 pieces you can set aside and you can use those for a different project. All right, I think I'm done with my paper trimmer. Okay, so now we're going to fold along all the score lines. This pattern paper is so fun. I love it. Okay, so we're folding in, and then we're going to fold up, Good morning, Sheila. Good morning, Kim. Okay, and now we're going to trim along here. So I'm going to snip up to the score line here and here. And then we're going to cut these 1/2 inch strips off. We just want to leave this center 1/2 inch strip. And you can do this in your paper cutter if you want. I don't mind using my scissors. Find it a little bit faster than trying to line up in my paper trimmer. So how's everybody doing today? Anybody have any fun plans for the weekend? I've got my All About the Succulents classes tomorrow. So, and there's a few people on here that will be joining me. Looking forward to that. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to put adhesive along this strip, and I'm just going to use regular Stampin' Seal. I'm going to go all the way across, and then I'm going to fold. You know what, this is a bit helpful. If you trim just a little bit of an angle off, just like this, then you don't get the bulk in the corners. Yay, I'm excited that I'll get to see you tomorrow, Kim. Good morning, Karen. Oh, you're getting your COVID shot tomorrow? Marcel's getting his tomorrow too. Mine's on Monday. All right, so now I'm going to fold that down, and then I'm going to add adhesive along here. Not quite to the edge. You can do it on this side as well. So I just added a little bit here. I didn't want to go all the way to the edge because you'll end up with a little bit of adhesive at the top and then it'll be sticky. And don't worry about that little bit there. That will get covered right over. Nobody will notice it. Now I'm folding this in. I'm lining it up with the bottom, and then I'm going to take my bone folder and just make that nice and crisp. And there's our pocket. How simple was that? And this is a great card design for really showcasing that patterned paper that you love, because you get to see so much of it. Very little of it will get covered over. And there's the back, so it's pretty front and back. Okay, so now let's work on decorating this, because of course we can't just leave it like that. We want to make it a little bit fancier. So I've got a 1 by 11 inch strip of Blackberry Bliss cardstock, and some of this actually will get trimmed down. You can probably do a 1 by 8.5 inch strip. I just happen to have a narrow strip that was 11 inches. So I'm going to just trim that so it's a little bit shorter, and I'm going to fold this over and do the same thing, trim it so it's a little bit shorter. And then I'm going to put some adhesive down all the way across, because although this is a belly band, it does not need to be removed because we've created a top pocket. So I don't need to be able to slide this off like you do on some card designs. I'm just going to tuck a little bit of adhesive under there. All right, so there's our belly band. And then I've got some circles that I've cut using the layering oval circles. So I use the 6th smallest. Let me just confirm. I think it was this guy. Yes, so it's the 3rd largest, or the 6th smallest scallop oval or scallop circle cut from Blackberry, and then the same size in the solid circle from white. And then we're going to bring some more of that fun DSP in, and we're going to do some punching. Okay, so in the paper pack, there is this patterned paper, which looks like an ice cream cone. So we're going to punch a couple of these. Well, I got a little bit too close to the edge for that one. Let's try this again. Okay. All right. There we go. So we're going to do one there. Let's trim this one a little bit, see if we can get, I always like to try to conserve as much of my pattern paper as I can. There we go. So we've got 2 of those cones. And then I'm going to use some of this pattern paper. I love my diagonal stripes, but I'm going to use this side for the ice cream. So I'm just looking to see what colors I have showing. I do have some purple showing, and I do have a fair bit of terracotta. So I did bring in a larger piece, but I'm looking around the edges. Okay, I think what I will do is I can get one out of here. So I'm going to slide this in so I get most of the purple posy, because there is a little bit of that lighter purple in there. And then I don't think I'm going to use that, but I think for my second one, I don't think I can get a whole ice cream out of this piece, but I could out of this piece. So what I'm going to do is just trim this a little bit, just to make it easier to slide my punch in. Okay. Oh, I can't quite, you know what, it should be okay. All right, so you can see I can't quite fit it in there. I don't want a whole bunch of the white showing at the top, but I think this will work. We'll use this one for the inside. And then this one, it should work for the outside, and you'll see why in just a couple minutes here. You'll see what I'm going to do. Let's move these scraps out of the way. Okay, and then I've got a scrap piece of white cardstock. I'm going to bring in my Memento ink, and I'm going to use the beautiful Happy Birthday from this stamp set. I love the font of this birthday greeting. Ink it up. Stamp it down, and with a little bit of pre-planning, I've got one that's fussy cut here. So what I did, I wasn't too particular. I didn't go way up. So you can see here, I didn't go way up in there. I didn't separate the words. I just kind of loosely went around the greeting and fussy cut it. So now we've got all of our little pieces we can start to assemble. I'm going to add my white circle to my scallop circle so that I've got just a smidge of that blackberry showing there. And then one of my cones will go on here flat, just like that. And then this guy's going to get popped up. Use a couple dimensionals there and pop it up. Again, so we're missing the bottom detail on that ice cream, but that's going to be okay, because what I'm going to do is this is going to sit over top of it. So you're not going to see that scallop detail in the bottom anyways. All right, so let's see. I'm going to use a couple little pieces of dimensionals here. And make sure that's straight. This is going to go on here like that. And then this is going to go onto our card front like this. Now again, this is a pocket, so I don't want to put adhesive right in this area. So I'm going to use 3 dimensionals, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to put one at the bottom and then one on either side, and just leave the top open. There we go. Okay, a couple more things I want to do to this before we start working on the inside. You know that I love me some baker's twine. You got to have, a card is not complete without a baker's twine bow or linen thread bow. So I'm going to tie just a small little bow from white, and Then I'm going to bring in some of the ice cream corner sprinkles. And okay, let's attach our bow first. So our bow is going to go right here. Just put a little dot of multi-purpose glue. Let's make this just a bit smaller. That's going to go right in there. Look how nicely that finishes it off. And it just brings in a little bit of a different texture as well. Okay, so now I've got my take your pick tool, and I'm just going to start by adding just a few dots for my sprinkles. So now I can pick out my sprinkles, and I'll use my scissors to hold them down. I love these little sprinkles. They're almost like little pieces of rubber. They feel, I don't know, I'm not sure what they're made out of, but they're really cool. Okay, so I'm picking out anything but yellow because there's not a ton of yellow. Just a smidge showing right here. So I don't want to pull in the yellow, but I will pull in the other colors. And the take your pick tool makes this nice and easy because of that sticky bit on the end. There we go. Okay, so now we've got some sprinkles. Let's cover these over so I don't make a mess. Okay, so there's the outside of our card. Now let's work on the inside. Is it making you hungry? Okay, so I have a piece of Blackberry Bliss that measures 3 3/4 by 5 1/4, and then a piece of white. Now you can do a 3 1/2 by 5 inch piece of white. I happen to have a 3 1/2 by just slightly smaller, so I'm going to make this work. You guys know I'm all about using what I have already cut, all those pieces, saving myself some work, using my scraps. So I'm going to slide this on here, leaving that little bit of a border, but then I've cut a piece of DSP. Yes, Elaine, the sprinkles are retiring, but you have until, they're not retiring with the annual catalog because they're in the June catalog, right? So you will have until, probably until, well, they should be current until the end of June, but they'll be also, once June hits, they'll be available while supplies last. Okay, so I've got a 1 by 3 1/2 inch strip of Blackberry Bliss DSP from that same paper pack, and this is just going to cover over that missing white bit at the bottom. Now there's another way that you can do that. You saw that I put adhesive pretty much all the way across. If you wanted to turn this into a gift card holder, what you could do is you could just put adhesive along here, along the bottom and the side, and then you'd have like a little pocket that you could tuck a gift card into, okay? I decided that I just wanted to use this just as a regular card, not as a gift card holder. All right, so I'm going to put my cone down flat, and then this guy's going to get popped up using dimensionals. And pop that right on there. And then I'm going to use the greeting that says, "Hope it's sweet." And stamp it right along the top of the DSP, or just above the DSP. Okay, so now what we can do, this just slides right in here, just like this. You can leave it like this. I wanted to add something else up here. Now I thought a good solution would be to add some of the Blackberry Bliss ribbon that is part of this collection, which I thought I had left out, but I could not find it. So I must have packed it. So what I did was I happen to have some of the Clever clasps, which are also from the January to June catalog. So I have some of those. So I'm going to pop that on there. And then I'm going to add another white bow on top of that clever clasp. Now, one thing I do want to point out is with the clever clasp, it will not fit into an envelope if you're going to mail it. So you'll not, if this is something that you're going to mail, you don't want to use one of those clasps. First of all, it's going to add a ton of dimension and you'll have to pay extra postage. But it also, when it's tucked into here, it's too tall, it won't fit into your envelope. All right, so let's add, now you can wrap your twine right around here, but I want it to sit in a specific spot where I can't get it to wrap around. So I'm just going to use like a little dot of multi-purpose glue and just sit that right on there, and then we can tuck our card in. Sometimes you'll find it gets caught on that little flap at the bottom, but if you just pinch the two sides together, it'll usually slide in nicely. And there we go. So a simple pocket card that highlights pretty patterned paper, and you've got a fun little birthday card. So there's the inside and the outside, and there it is all together. All right, so I hope you guys enjoyed that. Super fun to make. I am actually I'm gonna make a few more with the pattern paper that I have left from this collection because it was so fun. It's so fun. Now, I wanted to let you guys know that next week is the week where I'm going live every day. And next week, normally I do it at 9:30, but next week it's going to be 10 just because I've got some other things going on in the morning. And we're going to focus on the Hippo Happiness Bundle, which some of you might be thinking, really? But it is such a cute bundle, and it's not just for kids. If you've got friends or family that love unicorns or sparkly things, if you've got babies or family members that are having babies, little birthdays, this is a great set. So we're going to play with this, and I will be using a fair bit of rainbow glimmer paper. Love, love, love this. I was happy to see that this is carrying over. Actually, this is carrying over as well. However, it will not be available as a bundle in the next annual catalog. It's only going to be available as a bundle until the end of this catalog, so until May 3rd. And then, as always, when I do these weekly videos, I have a special where if you place a minimum $60 order from my online store using the host code that I put in the description, I will send you all the bits and pieces to create the 5 cards that I'll share with you next week. And there's some pretty fun ones. I can't wait to share them with you guys. All right, so thanks so much for watching. Have a lovely weekend, and we will see you on Monday morning at 10 a.m. Mountain Time. All right, take care. Bye, guys.